Hi there guys, I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech and this is the complete camera review of the iQOO 12. iQOO 12 comes with a triple camera setup on the rear with a 50 megapixel primary camera which has the largest sensor in the segment. That's followed by a 50 megapixel ultra wide angle camera, and finally it has a 64 megapixel camera with 3x periscope telephoto lens which can go up to 10x HD zoom, and with digital zoom you can go up to 100x. For selfies you get a 16 megapixel camera with f2.5 aperture. By the way, this is the first phone in the Indian market to sport a periscope camera at just a starting price of 50,000 rupees. And as I've mentioned earlier, it comes with the largest primary sensor in the price segment. Now here's a closer look at the camera interface. Camera interface actually looks pretty similar to other iQOO phones, but in fact the picture quality is much better than any other iQOO phone out there. Now these are some sample shots. First, we'll start off with some daylight selfies. Now these are some selfies taken in daylighting conditions. As you can see, color reproduction is fantastic, skin tones look pretty perfect. There is no over processing going on. Well, I disabled all the beautification mode beforehand, but anyway, you get to decide that. There's no default beautification going on. Color reproduction is pretty good and dynamic range is also very well managed. Now these are some daylight portrait selfies. They look pretty similar to regular selfies with the background blur effect. And once again, iQOO has done a very good job with the background blur effect. Now these are some selfies taken in low lighting conditions. These are indoor lighting conditions. Once again, color reproduction is on the point. As it's low lighting conditions, you do get that painting kind of an effect, but that's very minimalistic. Overall, as long as the lighting conditions are sufficiently good, you do get pretty good selfies even in low lighting conditions. Once again, color reproduction is pretty good and skin tones also look pretty natural. Now these are some portrait selfies taken in low lighting conditions. Once again, they do a very good job. Edge detection is pretty good and you also get a nice bokeh effect. Now I'm going to show you a sample footage recorded with the front facing camera. Now this footage is recorded at 1080p resolution at 30 fps. So guys, this is a sample footage recorded using the front facing camera of the iQOO 12 at 1080p resolution at 30 fps. Right now I'm just walking around and the audio is from the phone itself. So check out the noise cancellation and stabilization offered by the phone. With that said, I'll be just walking around. Now this is a sample footage recorded using the front-facing camera with the background blur effect. We can change the intensity of the blur effect, and once again here's the sample footage. So guys, this is once again the sample footage recorded using the front-facing camera of the iQOO 12 but with a background blur effect. So this is the kind of output that you can get. I'll just place my hand over here so that you can see how good the edge detection works with the front-facing camera, and this is the kind of footage that you can expect. Once again, audio is from the phone itself. Check out the noise cancellation and stabilization offered by the phone. Guys, this is a sample footage recorded using the front-facing camera of the iQOO 12 without any voice amplification or anything like that. This is done in the indoor lighting conditions. So this is the kind of footage that you can expect. Now this is a sample footage with the voice enhancement feature turned on. Now this is another sample footage once again with the voice enhancement feature turned on. I'm recording the same footage in the same room in the same lighting conditions, and I'm once again just walking around. Now once you turn on this feature, your voice is a bit more louder, echo is reduced, and the voice sounds much more crisp. Next we have some daylight shots taken with the primary 50 megapixel camera. Once again, iQOO does a pretty great job with color reproduction, white balance, and dynamic range. Dynamic range is very well managed, like it doesn't overexpose or underexpose anything, so it has done a great job. Color reproduction is on the point, it's not too oversaturated. Well, if you look at the pictures on the phone, because of the AMOLED display, it does look a bit oversaturated, but once you put the same images on a normal computer, you can see that the color reproduction is pretty natural. Like it doesn't look too saturated. Now these are some shots taken with the ultra wide angle camera, which is by the way another 50 megapixel camera. Once again, pictures look pretty good. Color reproduction, white balance and dynamic range all look pretty good. If you put photos from the wide angle camera and the primary camera side by side, there is a very subtle difference between color balance and overall color production, but the difference isn't too huge. Now these are some macro shots taken with this phone. They look amazing. Like the amount of details and clarity that you get on this phone is really phenomenal. For some pictures, you can see the fibers of plants, you can see the structure of the leaves. All these details were really missing on other phones that I've reviewed earlier. Once again, cameras on this phone are simply amazing. Now these are some portrait shots taken with the primary camera. Once again, color reproduction is on the point and selfies look great, edge detection is pretty good and skin tones are also pretty natural. As you can see, all these portrait shots have been taken in pretty harsh lighting conditions, but dynamic range has been very well balanced and you got amazing looking shots. And that's from a very casual photographer, so if you're any good at it, you can take some great photos. Next, I'm going to show you some zoom photos where I take pictures all the way from 0.6x zoom, that's basically using the wide angle camera, followed by 1x zoom, 2x zoom. 2x zoom is just digital zoom based on the primary 50 megapixel camera. Next we have 3x zoom, which is the periscope camera. Next we have 10x zoom and finally 100x zoom. I'm not going to talk about any of these photos, you can just look at them and see how good they are. Next, we have a high resolution mode on this phone. Now, even though this phone comes with a 50 megapixel camera, every time you take a picture in the normal mode, it compresses the image using pixel binning to save space and improve quality. But for some reason, if you want to take a 50 megapixel picture, you can do it with a high resolution mode. Basically, a 50 megapixel picture has more resolution, more details, and it's also much larger in size. Next, we have the panorama mode, like on any other phone, and these are some shots. Once again, it does a pretty good job. Next, we have the fisheye mode. As the name suggests, photos have a fisheye effect. There were many music videos that were shot in this particular fisheye mode. Now we found similar effect on GoPro, and now we have it even on your phone. I think we got this effect before in phones, but can't remember. Anyway, these are the kind of photos we can take even on our phones. Next, we have something new called snapshot. In this mode, whenever you take a picture, your phone will also record 2 seconds as a video and attach it to the photo, so that whenever you look at the photo, you can also see what happened during that moment. It's an old feature with a brand new name. Next, I'm going to show you photos taken in low lighting conditions, which are followed by photos taken in the dedicated night mode. Photos taken in low lighting conditions, even though they look a bit more brighter, have good color reproduction, they don't look overexposed, and most importantly, noise has been very well managed. Like, it has been completely removed with software processing. Pictures taken with a dedicated night mode look much more brighter and are much more sharper. Overall, you do get much better pictures with a dedicated night mode. By the way, we don't have a night mode for selfies, so that's something you should remember. Next, we have sample shots for the long exposure mode. In this mode, you can create light reels which can look pretty cool. You just need to have the right timing and you can get some great photos. Next, we have something called supermoon mode, where we can actually take photos of the moon, and this is how they look. They definitely look pretty impressive, but it's all the software magic. Next, we have something called astrophotography. By the way, in this mode, you can check out all the constellations, like where the locations are, by just pointing your camera at the sky. Well, you can also do the same in an empty room, but you get the point. Now coming to video recording, this is a sample footage recorded at 1080p resolution at 30 fps using the standard stabilization. Now this standard stabilization is just the optical image stabilization, so this is the footage that you can expect. Once again, dynamic range has been very well managed. Picture doesn't look that crispy or that vibrant because the scene itself was like that, but still color reproduction was pretty good and the stabilization was also pretty good considering that I was walking around with the standard stabilization. Now this is a sample footage recorded using the ultra stabilization mode, and now the footage definitely looks much more stable. Besides that, dynamic range has been very well managed, color reproduction also looks pretty good. One thing to note is that you do get a kind of a gimbal effect and the footage is slightly more cropped to give you that ultra stabilization. Now this is a sample footage recorded in 4K resolution, downscaled to 1080p. By the way, we can record video in 4K resolution at 30 fps or 60 fps and it supports only standard stabilization. Next, we can also record video in 8K resolution at 30 fps. In this mode, we don't have any dedicated stabilization modes, but the optical image stabilization works really well. And if you really want those extra pixels, you can use a tripod and get some great footage. So guys, this is a sample footage that you can get with the rear camera of iQOO 12. This is the one with the background blur effect. So I'll be just walking around and you can notice how well the edge detection works, how good the background blur works. By the way, this is at f2.0 and this video is being recorded at 1080p resolution at 30 fps. Now finally, we also have slow motion video on this phone and these are some sample shots. They all look pretty amazing. You can also scale them down to get a much better effect. So guys, overall, cameras on the iQOO 12 are really the best in the price segment. It's not just for 2023, I'm pretty sure till the end of 2024 or at least until iQOO 13 releases, this phone will be leading others in terms of photography. So guys, what do you think about the camera performance of iQOO 12? Do let us know by commenting below this video. And for all those who want to check out the original pictures, I'll leave a link for that in the description. Do check it out. With all that said, thanks for watching our video till the end. It means a lot to us. See you next time.